Welcome into another edition of The Butcher versus the Dance Instructor. I'm Neil McCready, joined as always by Greg Jones of LB's Meat Market. LB's sponsors this show. Greg with us, and also Caroline McCready joins us from Fayetteville as we get ready for another weekend of college football. Just 6 games on the slate this week. I was telling Greg and Caroline before we got rolling, just 6 games on the slate this week because there's not a lot of big games, no big national games next week. That is not the case next week. A lot of big national games, Oregon and Ohio State, in addition to the SEC games. There's a lot going on, so we'll get a bigger slate next week. But this week, just 6 games. We'll jump into those in a minute. First, welcome to you guys. How are you?
Yeah,
I'm good. I'm tired this week.
Caroline's tired.
made it back in one piece from Dallas, right?
Yep, I did. I'm not built for Dallas at all.
In what way?
It's just so much partying. All like it's like that's what I mean, I guess that's why we went because we knew we were gonna lose. But Saturday night I went to bed and everybody else went out. Well, me and 2 other friends stayed in and went to bed early.
You did what you always do in that game. You guys were in it in the fourth quarter. You actually had a fourth quarter lead, and then you lost. It's just kind of what
Yeah.
y'all do in that game.
Yeah, I did enjoy I mean, I've always loved going to the game, but it was fun to go. We went to Texas Live and that was fun. But I liked watching more of the Ole Miss game. Like I was watching that before. Like I was in it. I was watching it. And then we literally sat at the booth the whole game, basically. So
Greg, Caroline's tired. How would you describe your state of
Well,
mind, your state of
well, I should have probably gone. I should have gone home probably when I closed the store at 6 o'clock Saturday. That's probably what I should have done. Yeah, I mean,
you did
I
not?
was just, I was just trying to figure. I was like sitting there watching the game. I was like, just, I know we didn't show up, and we weren't who we thought we were, but like, just somehow win the game, and we'll move on to next week. And if you're trying to kick a 50-yard field goal to send it to overtime, you deserve to lose that game. I mean, that's how I feel about it. But yeah, I should have gone to bed after Saturday. Instead, just it's what Oxford does is you have to drink your sorrows away, and obviously the liquor stores were open until 10 o'clock. So just yeah, it's a
What
tough
was
loss,
the
but
what was the scene up on the square on Saturday night? Was it pretty sad, or was it pretty normal, or what?
it's just for me, it's just kind of looking at how people can have fun after that. Like Joey, who works for me on Sunday, he's like, dude, I went home after the game, took my Ole Miss jersey off, put a Pinehurst golf shirt on, and went to the bar and watched the games. Because he looked around and like people were having a good time. He's like, how are people having a good time right now? Like we just lost, and I'm sitting here. I'm like, I feel you the same way. That's why I worked until 6 o'clock, and it just that Alabama and Georgia game was really good. But yeah, the mood on the square was, I don't know. It's kind of it's almost kind of like the Grove. Some people get very sad about us losing. Some people are like, oh, here's another frozen chicken tender, or you want another drink or something like that. It's like some people don't. It doesn't bother them if we lose or win or lose. So that's it is what it is sometimes.
yeah, Gracie, my best friend from home, she sent me a picture after the game. She was like, it's literally like we all just went to a funeral. She said it was silent. And then she said in the Grove, she said no one was speaking. Everyone was just walking. That's so different than Arkansas. We're like, all right, we lost again. So let's go to Dixon.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna get into the show in a minute. I will tell you about LBs, but what's interesting to me is it's been like a psychology experiment this week. There was so much confidence around Ole Miss people mixed with this angst, anxiety, nervousness, like, oh God, the other shoe is bound to fall. Um, this feels too good to be true. They played those 4 games against the nobodies and they just beat the ever living out of them. And it was all of a sudden you're in a game and it felt weird. And then when it ends, people are just sort of stunned because I think they expected this to look differently. I think they expected the LSU game to be the one that maybe that's the one that bit you, maybe the Georgia game, but nobody thought it was going to be Kentucky. And now here you are 5 games into a season And because of the playoff and the 2-loss thing, 3-loss thing, you reduced a lot of your margin for error dramatically. And so
Oh, for sure.
it feels nervous. So anyway, we'll dive into all that in a minute. First, I want to tell you we're brought to you by LB's 2008 University Avenue in Oxford, right across the street from Kroger. Let Kroger be your landmark. Then head across the street to LB's, freshest cuts that you could find anywhere in or near Oxford. Beef, chicken, pork. They've got seafood, the house-made sausages. Um, stuffed jalapeno, stuffed mushrooms, the bacon wrapped asparagus, the twice baked potatoes. There's all sorts of things. When you walk in on the left, there's the frozen section. Grab something out of there. It's $2 off just for it being frozen. You take home, let it thaw for a few minutes. It's absolutely fresh. You'll absolutely love it. Don't forget you can text your order 662-259-2999. Text your order, you get 10% off. So this weekend, Ole Miss in South Carolina. It's a 2:30 Eastern, 3:30, no, sorry, 2:30 Central, 3:30 Eastern game. So maybe you're going to light the grill, get ready to go, watch the game, and then either celebrate a win or start drowning your sorrows. On Saturday night, you'll turn on, let's see, who are the late games? Tennessee at Arkansas, Central Florida at Florida. So there's some games on the TV that you can watch while you either celebrate Ole Miss winning or mourn them losing. We'll have a post-game show at MPW Digital as well, brought to you by Realtree. So you can put that on a screen. You can put one of the football games on another screen, light your grill, have some fun, and enjoy LBs and reflect on a football weekend that will either be awesome or awful. And that's just the way football weekends go, frankly.
Yeah, I mean, like you were talking about how some of the Ole Miss fans are, super like ready to jump. You have to stay even keel. I mean, you can't get real high up, you can't get real low. You have to stay even keel. Like, and whenever the program was on a low spot, you just say, "Hey, we're going to bounce back. We'll be back." And then whenever you get too high, you got to be like, "Yeah, I know we're number 5, but we got to stay right here." We got to stay neutral. So you always got to stay on the even plane. But yeah, it's good for all the people that think that this was the greatest team of all time, and maybe it still is. Maybe it still is. Maybe they wake up.
You never know. That's why you play the games. They keep score, and it'll start 0-0, and they'll play 4 quarters, and at the end of it, there will be a score.
For sure.
That's how it works. That's how it works. All right, we'll jump into the picks. So, Greg, to make matters pour salt in the wound last week, not only did your Rebels lose, you lost.
Probably pretty bad. Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Greg went 3-6.
Mm-hmm.
That's the bad news. The good news for you, Greg, is that while Caroline beat you, she only beat you by 1 game. She went 4-5. So she did cut 1 game off of your 4-game lead. So after week 5, Greg, you are 28-26 overall. Caroline's 25-29 overall, 3 games back. So Caroline cut a 4-game lead into a 3-game lead last week, and so she will try to continue to slice into Greg's lead. This week, only 6 games on the docket, so every pick counts, boys and girls. So Caroline, since you won last week, those are the rules. You go first this week. We've got an 11 a.m. game on ABC. It's Missouri coming off of an open date. They are in College Station playing those hated Aggies. It's 11 a.m. Like I said, Missouri is a 2-point underdog, Caroline.
Yeah, I'll go with A&M.
Why?
I'm not picky. I'm not going to be biased at all. I don't know. I think they're coming off of momentum of winning last weekend. Yeah.
How were the A&M people at the game? Were they nice?
Yeah, it was honestly fine. Like we were all in like one because Texas Live is like. Have you ever like seen what it looks like in there?
I've seen the outside of it. I've never been in it.
Okay, so it's like there's different like restaurant/bars. Like they're like, but they're like small. But like, we were in like a restaurant. And so there were like some Arkansas fans and some A&M fans. It's like when the Hogs scored, it's like we would call the Hogs, and then I don't even know what the heck they do. But it was just like there was no like fighting, but it was fun. But they were nice.
Did they do all their little cheers and stuff where they go
Not
whoop
really.
and all that
No.
stuff? No.
But we did call the hogs. That'd
Did
be
you?
nice.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You had a couple of chances, just didn't happen. Your team does not know how to win. Simple as that. They don't know how to finish games. They know how to stay in games, but
Yeah.
they can't finish games. All right, so Greg, she's going to take Texas A&M, lay the 2 points against the Tigers.
Man, I like Texas A&M too. I like her momentum into that big game. They're playing some good ball, and I don't like Missouri.
Okay. All right, we go to game 2, Greg. It is Auburn, the Reverend Freeze. He takes his team this week after blowing a 2-score lead in the fourth quarter to Oklahoma. Continues to be tested. He's being tested by the football gods. They go to Georgia this week. Georgia coming off that dramatic loss in Tuscaloosa to Alabama. Greg, the Auburn Tigers are getting 24.5 points between the hedges.
Man, that's a lot of points. Do we know if anybody asked him if they played Arkansas this week, they'd won?
He,
Really?
he he was not asked that. I have signed up for, hey, Hugh, why don't you, since we're doing this 10 times thing, why don't you play Georgia 10 straight times? That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Um,
No, it's just kind of funny because he was just like, asked him, is like, how disastrous was the program when you got here? I mean, is it really going to take you 3 or 4 years to, get this under control? And it's just like, he's like, well, I mean, I'm not going to talk about that, but I mean, and I'm sitting here, I'm like, well, didn't Josh Heupel go over to Tennessee his first year and win his first year? So, right? Isn't there certain coaches that take over programs and win immediately? So I don't understand what's going on over there. But that's a lot of points. I would say Auburn would probably keep this tight. I'll take Auburn regretfully.
All right, Caroline, he's going to take the Tigers, get 24.5 at Georgia.
um, I'll do the same thing.
Wow. I'm just going to tell you both that I think you're wrong. I think Georgia is going to absolutely brutally. I think this is going to be so bad that they're going to have to stop it in the third quarter and warn people that this is graphic, and ask people to please turn this off in the presence of their children. I think they're
Yeah,
going to change I think they're going to change the rating on this game. I think this is going to be a rated R.
Wait, what time is this game at?
Like 11 or 2:30. I don't remember. It's a day game.
Okay.
yeah. I mean, if it's 42-7 at halftime, then yeah, that should be pretty bad.
It's 2:30, Caroline. It's 2:30. Because here's the other 2:30 game, Caroline. It's Ole Miss coming off of its loss at home to Kentucky. The Rebels go to South Carolina. The Gamecocks had last weekend off. They are 3-1. Ole Miss now 4-1. This game's at 2:30 Central, 3:30 Eastern in Columbia. It's on ESPN. The Auburn game, by the way, is on ABC. ESPN, Carolina. Ole Miss is a 9.5-point favorite on the road at South Carolina.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Ole Miss.
Okay.
Let's do. Even though I got it wrong last
You
week.
think they bounce back? All right, Greg. She's going to go Rebels, bouncing back, winning by 9.5 or more.
Man, it's a tough call. I guess, man, I guess they'll bounce back. I mean, it's a tough game on the road. I mean, Kentucky, this South Carolina team beat Kentucky by I don't know how many touchdowns, 2 or
25
3.
points. It's 31-6. South
Yeah,
Carolina beat Kentucky 31-6 in Lexington. But I will warn you that the transitive property does not count. It does not apply to college football. It does not.
oh man, I'll take the Rebs. I mean, I don't feel good about it. I'll promise you that.
Okay.
Just depends on what kind of bathrobe Jackson Dart wears going into the game. Just obviously that bathrobe he wore going into the last game didn't work out. Maybe he'll change colors. I don't know. Not a big bathrobe walking into the stadium kind of guy.
Caroline Jackson Dart, the Ole Miss quarterback,
Did he wear a bathrobe?
Well, it was kind of like, it looked like terry cloth sort of pajamas. It was a
Oh Lord.
light blue, had Ole Miss on it. It was light blue shorts and a kind of a like a hoodie looking top with the hood. He had the hood on. It looked it,
It's something a girl would wear when she just broke up with her boyfriend and has a pint of ice cream and watching The
Oh my
Bachelor
God.
list. Like it's something that I mean a girl would probably wear that.
What's his name? Oh, Jackson
Jackson
Dart.
Oh,
JAX
with the X.
Dart.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean,
It was an interesting look.
yeah. I mean, what happened to the suits and like being formal and being like looking like a team walking in Walk of James like the 1,000 that did it previous.
I think it's just part of the brand that how you get to
Yeah,
have your own personality and stuff like that when you
that's
come
cool.
in. You found it, Caroline?
No.
Yeah, I don't know that I have it
Just
anywhere.
check the Ole Miss football's Instagram. It's the first picture on there because I don't think they posted anything.
Oh. I watch Caden, what's his last name? Chris
Caden
Caden.
Lee. Oh, Priestborn. Oh,
Yeah,
you
I watch
watched
his
TikTok?
wife's TikTok.
I liked how she said we got some humble pie this morning as she started that out. That was kind of funny.
Well, that's
Oh
true.
gosh, that outfit is horrible.
Oh, you're seeing Jackson Darts?
It looks like a quilt. Like
Yeah.
it looks like
Supposedly
that's
it's
what
like
girls wear this.
$2,500. It's like 2,500. It was like $2,000 or $3,000.
Oh my gosh. Hmm.
This is what I'm interested in with Ole Miss is they did get some humble pie. There's no question about that, right? I mean, they've been getting a lot of hype. Sometimes you can take some humble pie and you can really turn that into the right kind of fuel. This is
For
a
sure.
this is an interesting game because I still think this is a really good team. Um, they definitely were a little high on themselves. They caught a very blue collar Kentucky team and kind of
Yeah, whenever we didn't get on, I mean, obviously when we got up 7-0 and it was early, and whenever we didn't, get up on them again, and they kind of slowed the game down and just kind of turned it into their style of game. I mean, it just you kind of get you can see on the sidelines the frustration when Lane doesn't get the ball. I mean, it's almost like a kid, like he gets mad and when he
yeah.
doesn't get the ball, and when he does get the ball, because I think he called 3 timeouts under 2 minutes to try to get the ball back, and
Yeah, he was trying
they
to.
took,
He was hoping to hold them to a field goal, have enough time to get the
yeah.
ball back and go do something, and then they got the penalty, and that let Kentucky kind of run the clock out. All right, let's keep rolling. We got 3:15 game on SEC Network. It's Alabama coming off that huge win, Greg, over Georgia. They go to Nashville to play Vanderbilt. Alabama's a 24-point favorite.
Wow, how good is that 17-year-old that Alabama has?
Ryan Williams, he's terrific. He's just a fantastic player.
I mean, that
Everyone
game
recruited him.
with it being like 28-0 and Georgia coming back, and just in general, just everything with that, it was just a really really good game. Man, I kind of sneaky like Vanderbilt to keep this tight. I mean, like there's a lot of emotion that went into that game. 6:30 at night, being up, and then having to come back to win that game. So I'm gonna go underdog here and take Vandy at home.
All right, Caroline Gray's going to take the Commodores and get 24 points at home against the Crimson Tide. Now number one in the country, Alabama is.
I'll take Alabama. Sorry, people are yelling out there. I'll take Alabama.
Okay. I didn't hear anybody yelling. You're good.
I didn't hear anybody else.
Good.
All right, Caroline, we go to Fayetteville, Arkansas next. It's Tennessee coming off an open date. The Vols top 5 in the country, having won at Oklahoma. They go to Fayetteville. This is a 6:30 game on ABC, so should be a fun evening at least, or fun afternoon at least for you Arkansas fans. Arkansas, Caroline's a 14-point home underdog.
Okay, so here's my strategy behind this is every week I've gotten Arkansas wrong because I pick last week
No,
was
you got it right last week. You got it right.
I didn't.
No, she
Yeah,
picked. No, who'd you pick last week?
I picked
Arkansas, and they covered.
Arkansas.
And they covered.
Did
They
they cover?
They covered.
Yeah,
Because
you
they
had
got
your
5
point,
and a
but
half.
you lost the game. You had points.
Huh.
Because you
Okay.
said that you were gonna be happy either way because y'all were gonna either win the
Oh,
game.
right.
You forgot about the spread. I think you won by a hook.
Okay, then I'm gonna pick Arkansas again. Golly, do y'all not hear that?
No,
People are like, sounds like people are like throwing things around here.
No,
no.
Okay.
All right, Greg. She's going to take the Razorbacks. She's going to get 14 at home against the Vols.
I'll take Tennessee. They're
Yeah,
pretty strong. They're
I,
pretty tough.
I do too. I think Tennessee's really really good. If Arkansas can keep this within 14, I'm borderline impressed. I don't see it, but maybe you never know. Tennessee's not very good up front right now on the offensive line. They got some injuries, so they might be super cautious with this. They might get a 10-point lead and just nurse it. That could happen too. So it's possible. 14 points is a lot of points for a home.
Especially at home.
Yeah. All right, one more game, Greg. We got UCF. The speaking of Arkansas, former Arkansas quarterback KJ Jefferson and the Knights. They're heading to Gainesville to play the Florida Gators, and they do it as a 1.5-point underdog. This is a 6:45 game on the SEC network. Gregory?
And didn't USC get beat last week by Colorado?
Yes, UCF got whacked by the Buffaloes.
Oh, and the KFC chicken tender box.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll go with Florida. I'll go with Florida.
Okay. All right, Caroline, he's going to take the Gators. He's going to lay a 1.5 to the Knights in the swamp.
I'll do the same thing. I'll go with Florida.
Okay. All right, so you guys are in agreement on Texas A&M over Missouri. You're both taking Auburn in the points at Georgia. You're both laying the 9.5 with Ole Miss at South Carolina. You've got a difference in Alabama, Vanderbilt. Greg's taking the 24. Caroline's going to lay them. You got a difference with Tennessee at Arkansas. Caroline going to take the 14 points with the home underdog. Greg's going to lay the 14. And you both are taking the Florida Gators and laying a 1.5 to UCF. Greg, what's the plan this weekend at LB's?
Man, I think me and Kai just got done doing maybe 200 pounds of sausage. I'm about to finish it off with doing chicken jalapeno sausage.
Please save some for me. That's my favorite one.
Do you want bacon in it or no bacon?
I always love bacon.
So yeah, so I'll do two different batches. I'll do one with bacon and one without because I have some people that just like chicken sausage. So, yeah, man, just it's kind of weird because I don't know what this weekend's going to be like with it being on away weekend, but I'm assuming there should be a lot of people in town that want to grill out. I think the weather should be nice, so I'll be getting some salmon in tomorrow, some probably some fresh shrimp. We got some kind of I would say fancy hamburger helpers. So they're kind of like take home meal that all you have to do is cook like a pound of ground beef and add it to it. So I'll be posting that. We've got some lane train specials. That's what we always have. But yeah, we're just don't know what this weekend's going to be like. But so it's just going to be steady as she goes around these parts.
Caroline, what about you? What's the big plan for the game weekend?
I'm so excited for a night game. I don't remember the last time we had one.
Yeah, when was it? That
It
should have
has been a minute.
It's been a long time. I don't
Yeah,
know.
maybe Texas 2 years ago.
I know Ole Miss was my sophomore year, and it was
22.
so cold. It
It
was
was
so
cold.
cold.
Man, it
Oh
was
yeah.
cold that
Oh
night.
my gosh.
Oh yeah.
And then that's when we beat the heck out of Ole Miss, so I left. I was like, all right, I'm so cold, and I knew we were going to win, so I left.
It's a good feeling, right?
It is. It's rare. Probably will never feel that again. Yeah, so we have a night game this weekend, and then LSU, which is Dad's weekend, that's a
Yeah.
night game. And then Ole Miss is 11 a.m., and then Texas is they're both early.
Is Texas early? I don't think they've set the time on that one though, right?
It is. It says like 11 to 12:30 start time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that sucks. But
Well, the last time y'all played Texas, it was a night game. I remember that
yeah,
It
it was
was.
rowdy. It was rowdy that night.
because I think it was like the Undertaker it was on game day, and then John Daly came out, and the Undertaker's like, "Oh, Texas is gonna crush these," and then John Daly came out. I think that was pretty cool little moment. So yeah,
That
I'm
is one
glad
of
that
my
I'm glad.
biggest regrets is I left that game early.
Yeah, that would have been
And
fun to say.
yeah, I wish
Been
I'd.
another one of those like, hey, I never thought we'd have won this game, but here we are, we're winning.
Yeah, I know.
All right, we'll wrap it there. We'll be back next week. Got a big week next week. Got the Oklahoma Texas game. You got Ole Miss at LSU. You got Ohio State at Oregon. There's a lot of big games next week. Caroline, the Razorbacks are off, but you'll still be on for another edition of The Butcher versus the Dance Instructor. We'll see how you guys do this week. We'll be back next week with another edition. Hope everyone has a wonderful weekend, whether you're going to Columbia or staying here around Oxford or wherever you're watching the show from. Please be safe, have fun, and we will talk to you again next week.